Are open relationships sustainable? In other words, can you have long-term open relationships? And how am I going to prove that to you? So I want you to just take your mind on a trip with me right now to see whether or not an open relationship is sustainable, is persistent. How persistent is a monogamous relationship, which is the standard model of relationship? One man to every one woman, or one woman to every one man. How sustainable is that? Well, statistics, they say 50% of first marriages end in divorce, and second marriages are 70% likely to divorce. And of course, all marriages end in death. I'm kidding about the last part, but that's how sustainable a monogamous relationship is. Why is that? Why is it such a demise for monogamous relationships? And the reason why is very simple. It's because we humans have not evolved to be monogamous. Why do men cheat? Why do women cheat? Why do people cheat with the person whom they love, they admire, they adore? Why? Very simple. It's because they can't help it. It's in their biological makeup. Of course, people who believe in religion and believe in gods will tell you otherwise. But I want you to look at it critically rather than be indoctrinated. So, the statistics, they say, when it comes to open relationships, very few open relationships work out. Most open relationships, they say, statistically, don't work out. Let me give you a lesson in statistics. What is the sample size of those people whom you are studying who are in an open relationships? Those people say statistically are unhappy and unfulfilled in their open relationships are very, very few sample sizes. And of those very few sample size of people they studied who supposedly are not happy with their open relationships are not actually in open relationships. They are in what people call polyamorous relationships, a relationship where they have multiple people in that relationship. But like I've said in the previous videos, a polyamorous relationship that's practiced today is not necessarily an open relationship because it's a closed relationship with multiple people. That polyamorous relationship, closed relationship with multiple people, essentially exponentializes the problems that a monogamous relationship has. In other words, the problems you have with a monogamous relationship is added with one more person, and every other person multiplies the problems you have in monogamous relationships. It's because you begin with a wrong presumption about relationships. You have not covered the most essential aspect of happy, fulfilling, satisfying relationships, which is what a happy relationship is. Let me say that in a phrase that's more understandable. You haven't begun with the axiomatic premise, the premise of what makes a happy relationship. What makes a fulfilling, satisfying, actualizing, sexy, fun relationship? Eschew the models that they give you about relationships. Let's begin with that. Let's begin with what makes a good relationship and what makes a relationship work. And then let's build a relationship model that works off of that. Savvy? So, of that small sample size of relationships that they presume have very small likelihood of working out well, most of them are in polyamorous closed relationship. And of those polyamorous closed relationship, pretty much nobody practices the SOR 3 system of happy relationships, which I teach, which is none of them practice simultaneously these three things: unconditional love, their genuine wanting for each other's happiness, well-being, and gain and actualization, non-judgmental acceptance, and open communication. All closed relationship cannot have those three things in place. Because the entity relationship, the institution of the union of the relationship, is the most important thing in the relationship between peoples. Eschew love, eschew non-judgmental acceptance, eschew open communication, so long as the relationship works. The monogamous relationship works, or the polyamorous closed relationship works. We're not going to give any importance to those three things so long as the relationship entity works. Do you understand? The open relationship aspect is different, the one I teach at least. It begins with what makes a relationship happy, fulfilling, satisfying, and actualizing, and sexy and fun. So I'm going to leave that alone for now. Statistics are moot. There is no such individuals or group of individuals that actually do open relationships correctly in the way that I teach. And not that there's the model I teach is the only one that works. Many models work. Even monogamous models work so long as it begins with those three systems of successful open relationships. Do you understand? I have many clients who are in happy monogamous marriages who are secretly open. Understand? What people imagine what an open relationship is, they imagine it's just you get to fuck around and be non-committal in the relationship. This is why people imagine that open relationships cannot be long-term. It's because they think it's non-committal. What is it to be committed? To make a commitment is to say, I agree upon this one arrangement, or I agree upon this one deal that we have, and we'll go through with that. Do you understand? Do you know the difference between the hen and the pig? The hen was invested, the pig was committed. Do you understand? To make a commitment, just like to be committed, is to be enslaved. And the pig sacrificed his life. He was committed. But the hen just laid eggs, and the hen could lay more eggs. The hen was invested. In other words, to make a commitment is to simply agree upon something and continue doing that. It's a deal. It's a negotiated thing. And you could be committed in an open relationship because the commitment is... Alright, so I got a minute. The commitment is we'll have a happy, persisting, open relationship based on those three fundamental aspects of happy relationships. Remember what you're indoctrinized in. What is it to be indoctrined? To be indoctrined is to be taught a set of beliefs uncritically. Let me say that again. You are indoctrinized into believing that the only relationship that works is a monogamous one. To be indoctrinized is to believe a certain set of beliefs uncritically, without critical thinking. And this is what I provide you, some critical thinking. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.